is False Start, a college football podcast for everyone and everyone else. I'm your host, John Buhler, lead writer for FanSided. I'm joined today by a man who, if he made it to the fountain of youth, you would hope that it would be spewing out cheerwine, but it's not. It was just some nasty ass water. Cody Williams, content director, fansided.com. We're doing your conference today, bud. How are you?
I'm not stoked to be doing my conference. This place blows, man. But I'm doing all right. How you doing?
The All Coast Conference, the All Crap Conference, the All Conference Conference, and this is False Start. Yeah, dog sitting Miss Izzy, my sister's dog. We gave her a dog donut. We bought some because she sleeps like in donut mode, so
Oh, hell
I
yeah.
give her Miss Donut.
Nice. Love it, dude. Where do you get the dog donuts? I might have to get my hands on some of those.
PetSmart.
Hell yeah. Well, you would think that would be easy for me. It's not. That's like an hour away.
I was sitting there thinking about that, like, give me convenience or give me death, and you're dying in real time in Los Alamos, New Mexico. But before we begin, be sure to hit that like button, smash that subscribe button, give this thing a 5-star review on Apple, Spotify, YouTube, anywhere there's podcasts. I'm not sure if there's 5 teams in the NFL worse than my Atlanta Falcons. My God, were they horrible on Friday night.
The good news is that preseason does not matter, but it's not looking great. That's for sure.
Um, and it's only about going to be about 25 years until Sean Payton's waving up at all of us. What a scumbag he
Oh,
is.
dude,
He's
he's still the worst. He's still the worst. He's never gonna change.
No, sports Patton Oswalt's never going to change.
No, sir, not at all.
I had to explain that to the Arizona State podcast while I call him that. I'm like, people like Patton Oswalt. I'm like, no, they just look alike.
No, you don't understand. Sean Payton fancies himself a handsome man. Instead, he looks like Patton Oswalt. No offense to Patton. I do like Patton Oswalt as
Patton
well.
Oswalt. He's got to be in the new Batman movie. He's got to be Calendar Man. I mentioned that on the show before. I just like to blow things up.
That's
I'm
right.
the calendar man. Yeah, I'm trying to follow the outline here. Okay, here we go. This show's off to a great start, but obviously we have false started today. Our first and 15 is going to be the definitely maybe slash satin kimono.
Mhm.
I don't know which direction the slash is, so I did both. So Professor X, there we go.
There we go.
This is not a straight edge podcast for those listening. I'm wearing a goddamn Budweiser shirt.
I might still have some Budweiser in my system. Anyway, let's keep going.
Our picks for the highly distinguished honors of these two things coming in for the ACC.
Mhm.
Who is your definitely maybe in the ACC? Who definitely maybe might be good?
I'm going with Virginia, man.
Yeah.
This is a team that played for the ACC championship last year, and like no one's talking about them at like near the top of this conference. And I understand you've had some turnover. You got Bo Pribula coming in at quarterback. You've got a slew of running backs coming in, including Peyton Lewis, formerly at Tennessee, a highly recruited guy at Tennessee. And I think Tony Elliott's proven that he like knows how to get this thing going in the right direction. I think he's proven that he is in fact, maybe one of the more fruitful branches of the Clemson Dabo Swinney coaching tree. And so as we get into another year of Tony Elliott, I just feel like we should be talking more about Virginia. Like if this team was playing Miami in the ACC championship game, it wouldn't really shock me all that much, or it shouldn't at least. But I feel like they're getting no love right now.
Yeah, Virginia and Duke are just not getting as much,
Mhm.
despite being really high-end teams in the ACC a year ago. I do not have Virginia listed, but I think they just might be good. That's kind of my
Yeah,
thing.
like I think they're a good football team, and like I feel like they're being talked about like they're 6-6.
Like we haven't seen Virginia, like Bronco Mendenhall had some pops, but we got to go back to like the 90s when it was like
Yeah,
George Welsh when they were like really, giving FSU a run for their money in the
right.
ACC. And I know this does you no joy. You may have been born in Virginia. You hate Virginia. This is
No, I mean like I don't like the Virginia Cavaliers at all. I'm an ACC guy, but that's because I'm a North Carolina fan and South's oldest rivalry. We don't like the Cavaliers here.
obviously Tony Elliott's he earned a lot of equity back in 22 for how he handled the internal
Mhm.
tragedy. He has a good AD backing him up. I'm blanking on his AD's name, but that's neither here nor there. What I think is important is they set the blueprint. It's like, hey, if we just get buy-in, if we just get some financial backing, we can get this thing rolling here. Now they got kind of Ryan Odom got it rolling on the basketball side of things. They could put more resources into the
Yeah.
Who's football program. And again, this is a team that I think could go 10 and 2. They might make the playoff, but like probably going to be ranked at some point. I feel like we're kind of down on them across the board, despite them being what one game away from the 11th seed.
Yeah, no, 100%. I mean, like you just show up and beat Duke, which shouldn't have been as hard as they made it look, but I mean, you just show up and beat Duke and you're in the college football playoff. And like I think the other thing I wanted to mention is like, yeah, you have Bo Pribula, and I know he's been banged up. Underrated. They have Eli Holstein in the building as a backup,
Yes.
and like, so you're going to be fine at the quarterback position. Like, I don't think either of those guys are world beaters by any stretch of the imagination, but they're not going to lose you football games.
Yeah, Eli Holstein can play. Just the allure of Mason Heinschel there at Pitt, just had Pat Narduzzi going off to Narduzzi land.
As he's wont to do, for sure.
Uh, and Pitt is not a definitely maybe for me, but I've got for my two, I've got the California Golden Bears and the Wake Forest Demon Deacons.
Nice. I like both of those. That's fun.
So for me, for Cal, they've kind of slotted into the ACC quite nicely. They've had a lot of personality. Like the dog that I'm about to sit for likes to burrow. I'm like, oh, she's got a lot of personality. That's Cal.
That's right.
Uh,
They like to burrow up a guy.
Tosh Lapoy is so excited to be leading his alma mater. Justin Wilcox will never get the respect that he deserves for what he had to navigate there. But more importantly, you've got Jaron Kiawe Sagapolatelli at quarterback, and he's probably the best thing to happen out of Hawaii, I think, since Tua. Not in the NFL. Tua was a sad bag of crap. Just
Tua might be broke, brother. Tua might be done.
Cooper Rush might be done too. He's never played worse.
Dirty little secret. Cooper Rush has never been that good. Playing with CeeDee Lamb and in the Cowboys offense helps a lot of things.
Thank God for Jack Strand.
That's right.
There's like a new meme now where I think Penix took this out of my page, pointing at Tua. But yeah, I don't think Cal's really going to be a playoff team, but they're gonna beat somebody like they did a year ago. They keep doing this. I mean, I'm looking at the. I mean, I'm on more of the Clemson beat that road game in Berkeley for the Tigers. That scares me. That could be it's a Friday night game at 10:30 kick Eastern, 7:30 local. Cal's going to be very feisty. I'm pretty excited about what they're going to do this year.
No, I mean, and Tosh Lapoy, I mean, we saw what Oregon's defense was last year in the past couple of years. Like, this is a guy who knows how to coach. This is a guy who obviously has strong ties to Cal, has some passion behind being at alma mater. And, like, I think that this is going to be a really, I think it's just going to be a really good marriage between the two. Like, I think he's a really good fit. I think he understands it. It's honestly what Stanford tried to do with their hire, but I think it's a better, like, the high end version of that.
Absolutely. And then for Wake, I know you have no love for Gio Lopez. I think he might actually play halfway decent here because
Yeah.
Jake Dickert's a really good head coach. I don't think he's going to be long for Winston-Salem. I think you're looking at a guy that potentially could be a head coach. I don't know if Mike Locksley's gone, maybe Maryland hires him. I'd
Yeah.
hire him at Wisconsin potentially.
Hmm.
With Pat Fitzgerald's just a complete disaster at East Lansing, maybe they'll actually do the smart thing and hire this guy. You had a very high end team. Yeah, Miss Izzy really wants to go in the backyard. I'm not gonna let.
Not yet. Not yet.
Not yet. We're messing with her timing and everything like that. It's hard with dogs here. But yeah, I think Wake Forest is certainly going to be a team that will be interesting. And if you think they're going to be an easy out, I don't think that that's really the case. I think this is a team that could be the equivalent of Mississippi State in the ACC.
I think that honestly, I think they might even be better than Mississippi State just in terms of conference record, just because the ACC is not as deep as the SEC is, and so like that gives them a leg up anyway. I'm going to make Gio Lopez jokes because he was awful at Carolina, but like I'm also self-aware enough North Carolina Tar Heels fan to know that most of those problems were North Carolina Tar Heels related and not Gio Lopez related. Like I think he's going to be in a much better situation and perform quite well. Like I think that offense is more catered to what he is capable of doing.
I'd love to see Gio Lopez and Satin come out on how well he would perform there, but that's not his lot in life right now.
That's
He's
right.
who's wearing the satin kimono for you out of the ACC?
I'm sticking in my birth state. I'm going with the Virginia Tech Hokies. I mean, look, I think James Franklin is an upgrade at head coach. I think that this roster makes more sense than it has at Virginia Tech in the past few years. Don't really know if it matters all that much. I like you. We saw what this Penn State team was a bit last year, and you're not bringing like the cream of the crop from Penn State because the cream of the crop from Penn State is now playing in the NFL preseason. You're talking about Dennis Sutton. You're talking about Nick Singleton. You're talking about Katron Allen. Those boys are in the NFL. Like they didn't come to Virginia Tech, and I don't think Grickenmeyer is like anything special. I think he's a fine quarterback, but I think like people expecting Virginia Tech under James Franklin to make a leap, I think are going to be sorely mistaken. I think that this is a more like a stabilizing year one. I think they're going to go 7-5 and make a bowl game, and that's going to be a good season. But like people are talking about this team as a potential ACC contender, and I just don't see it with the talent that they have.
Virginia Tech was one of the two that I had, and I agree with everything that you said. I think there's a few more things that add to this. Again, like my thoughts on Meyer, like maybe he'll be better than this. I think what people are forgetting is how poorly Penn State looked
Mhm.
last year. That was quite problematic, particularly, I don't know, with Tom Allen off at Clemson. The defense really couldn't show up in a big spot.
Yeah,
The Andy Koltnecki hire never really took there in Happy Valley.
yeah.
I think there's two other things at play that really kind of scare me. I think the fact that you retain Brent Pry
Hmm.
really shows a lack of accountability internally. It doesn't matter if he's your dude, you can't have him back.
No, 100%.
And then the other thing, there's a lot of guys out there at Lake Oconee where James Franklin's got a place that have Virginia Tech ties, better known as Bruce Arians and the Beamers.
That's right.
So I think that there's a lot of pressure on Franklin from within the coaching community to make this work because I mean he won a lot at Vanderbilt, but Clark Lee has started to do that now.
Mhm.
Penn State's had success. I mean they turned it around relatively quickly under Bill O'Brien, and then obviously Joe Paterno had unbelievable success there before it crashed and burned. I think that there's some concerns I have there with Virginia Tech. People are thinking that this thing is going to be a quick turnaround. Maybe he will win there, but like I'm not expecting a whole hell of a lot out of this team until maybe midway through next year.
Yeah, like I just think there's a lot of damage that needs to be done. And to your point about Brent Pry, like that's where a lot of the damage came from, man. And like so it's definitely weird that he's on the staff. Definitely not something that makes me feel good about the Hokies in any by any stretch of the imagination. And yeah, I mean like I'm interested to see how this works, and I am optimistic long term because I do think James Franklin is a good football coach. I don't think that he's necessarily a national championship caliber head coach. Unfortunately, I'm not sure Virginia Tech's a championship caliber program at this point in time. So, like, maybe he is the right coach to get things headed in a more positive direction for everyone in Blacksburg.
I bet he dressed up as Kirk Hammett for Halloween once.
For sure, 100%.
And I think the bell tolls for the North Carolina State Wolfpack and not buying it on them. I
Yeah.
do think CJ Bailey is a really talented player. I think this might be the end of the line for Dave Doran. I think that you've had so many opportunities here. I mean, you've been in this league. I think the only coach in the ACC who's been here longer than you is Dabo, who's iconic at Clemson. And
Yeah.
even it's starting to kind of turn on him a little bit. We're kind of getting into like the Mark Stoops kind of territory at Kentucky, where it's
Mm.
like, you've elevated, you've done a lot, but at the same time, I'm a little concerned about like are the best days behind us? You've mentioned before like how pitiful the offensive lines devolved.
Mhm.
If this team goes 5-7, he's not there anymore.
No, very, very fair. May touch on Dave Doran here in a segment coming up soon. But
I would,
yeah,
yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm NC State was my second candidate. Like I only write one down, but like so they were it was between them and Virginia Tech that I was deciding between. And it just felt like the general stock behind Virginia Tech is a little bit stronger than it is with NC State, so I wanted to point them out. But yeah, I'm 100% with you on NC State. Like you have CJ Bailey, great talent, but like outside of that, I'm not really sure what you're banking on when it comes to the Wolfpack this year.
I don't know. I don't know if they're going to blow a house down this year, but if they're going to try to roast some pigs. It's getting hot in here.
Yes,
With
sir.
our next topic, probably can touch on Dave Doran here. Our five hottest seats in the ACC. Who do you have at number five?
At number five, I've got Pat Narduzzi. And
He was my first cut.
yeah, and so I look at Pat Narduzzi, and it's one of these things where I don't really, like in my heart of hearts, believe Pitt has the stones to fire him at this point, especially with an arrow pointing up this year. Like Mason Heintzel is a very damn good player, and so like I do think that there's going to be some exciting moments for Pitt. But I also think that's a gift and a curse when it comes to Pat Narduzzi because God knows the man doesn't perform well when there are expectations placed upon him. And there are some level of expectations for Pitt football this year. And that worries me if I'm a Pitt fan. That worries me for what this is going to look like. Is Mason Heintzel going to be kind of like a flame out after an exciting year in 2025? I think it's very much in the cards because we've seen Pat Narduzzi do that before, unfortunately. And at a certain point, you have to stop the pattern. You have to stop this kind of cycle of mediocrity that we've seen with the Panthers. And he's not as under he's not under as much pressure as some of like, his peers that we're going to talk about here. But I do think there could be some calls for his job if things go poorly with a year where there are expectations.
He's the more stubborn version of Dave Doran, where it's
Yeah,
just like,
100%.
yeah, it's like there's expectations. You occasionally meet them, but occasionally you don't. And maybe we clip this. My brain's all over the place. Maybe Pat Narduzzi is the great meanderer. He's a river that just does this a lot.
That's right.
And in this great country of ours, or this country of ours, you pretty much have like a major city at every major river confluence, like
Hmm.
across the world. Like the Allegheny and the Monongahela become the Ohio. That's where Pittsburgh is.
Yeah.
Um, I know where Narduzzi land is. It's at the confluence of the Mississippi and the Ohio, and you're like, why isn't there a big city there? They tried. It was called Cairo, Illinois. The problem is the foundation's just terrible and it floods all the time. And that's Narduzzi land. He's trying, Jennifer.
He's the guy who has a house that he just won't sell, and like he says, it's because it's sentimental to him, and it's because it won't pass an inspection.
He's claiming like there's oil under there. I'm like, no, dude, it's just sand sediment. You're not on top of like a bluff in Memphis or like on top of granite in Pitt. Like this isn't working out.
This is a
But
sinkhole, brother. Like, no.
we thought we had a sinkhole in my mom's backyard for years. It turns out I think we have an underground spring.
Hey, that's way better. Way better.
Yeah. We thought they just were throwing trash in the back of the cul-de-sac is like the last house built in the 300 house neighborhood in the early 80s. No.
Oh,
So at number five for me, I got the DJ of the ACC, got Fran Brown.
that was my first cut with Fran Brown.
You got to ask yourself, what was the anomaly? 24, where you won 9 or 10 games, or last year where you won three? I
Hmm.
think the last year one was, look, losing Steve Angeli and not
Hmm.
having a Kyle McCord was problematic because Ricky lost his number. Um,
That entire season was the end of Boys in the Hood just yelling, Ricky!
Ricky Stanicky.
That's right.
Izzy's burrowing down here. She's really all about Syracuse right now. That's really all my thoughts on Syracuse. It's like you got to be like at least 500 to give this another
Mm.
shot, and if not, like we've seen the dead cat bounce become personified there with Dino Babers. I think that Fran Brown's a better head coach than Dino Babers, but
Agreed.
like you're trying to be, you got to get up the Paul Pasqualoni standard. I don't think you're quite there.
No, I don't. I'm not 100% sure. I do think Fran Brown's a better coach, but it feels like you're trying to do exactly what you did last year again this year, and like maybe Steve Angeli is the guy. I was, somewhat bullish on what Angeli could look like in this offense where you're just kind of slinging it around the yard. We'll see. Coming off of the injury, yeah, Fran Brown, I'm not feeling very confident in at Syracuse. But if this is his last stop as a head coach, someone's going to get a hell of a coordinator, a hell of a position coach coming in, and more importantly, a hell of a recruiter. That's somewhere that's not Syracuse.
Yeah, this is going to be some sort of like assistant head coach kind of a thing. Like, just come back to Athens, brother,
Yeah.
or like just you know, someone like Kirby or Sark will find a use for him
Mhm.
very quickly, and he'll be able to bounce back very quickly. It's same thing with Mike Locksley. It's like he's not going to be out of a job very long.
No, like just because these guys suck at head coaching, like doesn't mean that they're bad at being like around a football team or a football program.
I mean, NFL guys like Wade Phillips, Norv Turner, we've seen Bill Callahan. Like there's
Yeah.
been guys out
Oh
there
yeah.
that are phenomenal at what they do, but maybe not as a head coach. That's okay.
I think Robert Saleh might be one of those guys, unfortunately.
Yeah, I think that might be a possibility here too. Who do you have it for?
Four is where I have Dave Doran. I have him like
Same.
yeah, and I
Yeah.
mean like it's funny you mentioned him as like being like a version of Pat Narduzzi because like I think they're very much in the same caliber. Like I don't think anyone in Raleigh is necessarily like fighting mad over the job Dave Doran has done at NC State, but also there is kind of a general malaise that's come over this program in the past few years. Like it just feels like, oh yeah, there's NC State. They could win this week. They could lose this week. Who really knows? Like, do I really care at this point? And that's not a great place to be, especially in the NIL era that we're talking about here. And so, I do wonder if this does kind of live up to our expectations of them being a satin kimono candidate. Like, if this thing goes poorly, I wonder if there is a push to kind of like get some new blood in there because there are a lot of exciting young coaching candidates out there that could replace the old guard and bring in something new. Because let's be honest, there's a window of opportunity for NC State right now. Duke has Manny Diaz, but I don't suspect Manny Diaz necessarily being there for that long. I think he is a candidate to go after a bigger job sometime in the very near future. North
Yeah.
Carolina is an absolute shit show right now. Wake Forest is always going to be Wake Forest. So like in the state of North Carolina, there is a power void for you to really take if you're NC State. And Dave Doran, to my knowledge and to my estimation, hasn't done the actions that you need to take action on that power void and take hold of it. You can find someone who can.
You hit the nail right on the head there. Like Duke and Wake are up, but we don't expect Diaz to be in Durham for much longer. He'll probably be in Tallahassee next year, if I had to guess.
You know,
Uh,
just a
D
thought.
Dickert might not be in Winston-Salem for that long. Give it probably a year or two. He'll be in a better job. You haven't taken advantage of Clemson kind of having to
Mhm.
redefine itself
True.
here, and then thank goodness for NC State fans. North Carolina's been struggling because those are your four biggest rivals, and you've got some challenges going along with that. Would it shock you if they just hired Philip Rivers off out of Northern Alabama because Gunner's coming in?
Honestly, I'd be super favorable for that. Like, I think Philip Rivers would be freaking awesome for NC State.
Yeah, just don't hire Russell Wilson as your whatever it is. Bring
Hire him as your mascot, if anything. Let him be Wolfie out there.
no, dude, your mascot is the cover artist for a North or a Newfound Glorious Catalyst, Mike Glennon.
That's right.
Yeah, we have the same. Obviously, we have Dave Doran here. I'm not going to speak for us. There's probably a lot of overlap in our top three. At number three for me, I've got Bill Belichick.
I have Bill Belichick much higher. I'm probably too close to the situation, but that's okay.
It's not taking. It's not working. Obviously, he tried and he got so far, but in the end, it didn't really matter. It's just been a complete clown show with Jordan, and obviously Michael Lombardi just being
He's being
he's not.
Michael Lombardi. I don't know what we expected here, honestly.
He used to have a podcast about making people smart about football, and now he's just making North Carolina football worse. Look, we know this is a traditional basketball power. We know the baseball program's really good. We know the women's soccer program is outstanding. There is a standard there at UNC. When they're good, they can be, as their ceiling can be like Clemson's, like Tommy Bowden. Like they can be
Mhm.
8-4. They can get to Charlotte. They can occasionally win the ACC. It starts with defense, and that's where it needs to go because for whatever reason, like unless you have a Sam Howell or like Drake May there, you gotta. That feels like a lifetime ago. You got to find some way to kind of bring this back, and I don't think it's Bill Belichick. Honestly, I'd take Arthur Smith in a heartbeat over him because at least there's some sort of pride there. Maybe he'll figure it out. I wouldn't wish that on you, but there's somebody out there. I don't know, get Ronald Curry to be the head coach.
Dude, literally, you could pick someone off the street, and I'd probably be happier than I am with Bill Belichick. I'll unload more thoughts on this when I get to him in my rankings. But yeah, you're 100% correct about everything you said.
Who's three for you?
That's where I have Dabo, and I'm so torn. I don't know what to do with Dabo Swinney at this point. I look at it and I see abject failure to adapt. I see abject failure to be able to take the success you had in the mid 2010s and parlay that into the new modern era of college football. You have not been able to do that. You've been on a steady decline over the past few years as a result of that. I do think that Water somewhat finds its level this year. I think that Christopher Vizina is going to come in there and I don't think he's going to be a world beater by any stretch of the imagination, but I do think he's going to be someone who comes in there and just like steadies what has been that slow decline. At the same time, I'm not sure steadying a slow decline is necessarily going to fly in Clemson, South Carolina. I think that the gift and the curse, the catch 22 that Dabo Swinney created for himself is he raised the level of expectation of what his football teams are supposed to be capable of. And he's fallen woefully short of that over the past couple years. And looking at the roster right now, I don't see him necessarily getting anywhere close to that this year either. And where I get confused or where I get kind of torn with Dabo is weighing the past accomplishments and what he's meant for Clemson football and how that's going to parlay into like how much of a leash he gets for his future. Because if he hadn't won a national championship, if he hadn't gone to the college football playoff as many times as he had with Clemson, I think there's a chance he would already be fired. And how much longer is that leash going to extend?
He didn't make my list because I don't want to make my job harder than it has to be. This is a very critical year for him. Last year, I mean, this was a team that I think you picked to win a national championship, and they went 7-6.
It was bad. It was
It
bad.
was There is talent on this roster. Sammy Brown's going to probably be the first linebacker taken. Ashton Hampton's a fantastic cornerback. We know Bryant Wesco Jr., TJ Moore are probably going to be like top 100 picks outside the numbers.
Mhm.
You have a good coaching staff. You have three former Power Four head coaches on your staff with Tom Allen defensively. Chad Morris is back as your OC, and then Matt Luke is your O-line coach. Your schedule is manageable. Yeah, you got to play LSU and South Carolina in the non-conference. If you split those, you can afford to lose to Miami at home, and maybe you can get to Charlotte. But like, there's not much margin for error here because you're not playing SMU or Louisville during the regular season.
Mhm.
So you can't afford to let, the Dukes, the Florida States, the Syracuses like creep up on your territory. I feel like what's
I'm
up?
re- I'm realizing I did something that I know exactly why I did it, but I'm stupid as hell.
Yeah, I was noticing that too in real time, and that's okay. That's totally fine.
I thought Mike Norvell was already fired. What are we supposed to do here?
That's totally fine here. We'll touch on Norvey here in a minute, but you mean you're about as red as Tallahassee right now, getting sunburned and being
Oh
embarrassed.
man, that's my
If,
bad.
if you get sunburned and embarrassed in Tallahassee, it's the same hue. It's like the we'll see what happens with Dabo. I'm not quite there, but like they need to win about 9 games this year.
100%. Yeah, I mean it needs to be a I think honestly you might need to get to Charlotte.
Yeah, you can't have Louisville or SMU get on your territory.
Again, yeah, again, honestly.
And so that was your three. I mentioned Belichick is my three. Number two for me is Bill O'Brien.
That's my number two as well, which would actually probably be my number three because I once again forgot about Mike Norvell existing.
So yeah, Bill O'Brien. We've got the son of Bill Murray, Luke Murray, telling everybody in the basketball program to take a hike. Boston College is a group of six program masquerading as a power forward team. It's not going well. And even though Bill O'Brien thinks a really good coach and he's going to find work somewhere, this was just a bad fit. This is a really poor timing. Really kind of goes to show you how good Jeff Hafley was. Maybe the Dolphins will turn it around at some point. They're not going to do very much. They might be one of the five teams worse than the Falcons, but
It's not a Jeff Hafley problem, it's a dudes on the field problem, and they don't have enough of them.
just give Luke Kuechly the job and figure it out.
Yeah, that'd be sick. Would
Yeah,
love
just
that.
have Bill Romanowski be your trainer.
Oh my God.
And the Hasselbecks they just rotate them. They're the coordinators.
That'd be
uh,
entertaining at least. Which
uh,
like the worst thing I can say about Boston College is no one cares. Yeah, BC alum doesn't care about this football program. I don't even know if Bill O'Brien cares about this football program at this point in time. And it's just it's a very thankless position to be in because the care level is never particularly high for Boston College football. Like, if anything, they are a basketball school, and like it's not like it hasn't been a football school in decades, quite frankly. And that's unfortunate. You're at a recruiting disadvantage, you're at a financial disadvantage. You have so much working against you in this job. I don't, like you said, I don't think it's a direct reflection of Bill O'Brien. I don't think it's a reflection of what Bill O'Brien's future job prospects are going to look like because I think he's going to be able to get an offensive coordinator job in the snap of a finger. But I do look at this and like, yeah, you're just not producing, and like you've got to inspire some level of enthusiasm, and there is precisely none in Chestnut Hill right now.
None. Like, is there a power forward team of the 68 where there's like less optimism, less passion, less care? It's about 68 pretty much.
Yeah, it's 67 or 68, man. It's not good.
So you've got Bill Belichick at one, and I've got Mike Norvell at one. I'll let you unpack
I've
Belichick and
got I've got Mike Norvell at 1A because I already like I was just thinking of him as already fired. The seat's not hot, he's just done. Um Bill Belichick, man. Look, I understand that I'm close to this as a North Carolina fan, but there's not like I think the most indicative thing of where this North Carolina football program is isn't the Michael Lombardi thing. It isn't the mysterious Steve Belichick taking a leave of absence for medical reasons that this is the first we're hearing of. And it's not any of that. It's Billy Edwards Jr. coming in at quarterback. He feels like the most, okay, I'm trying to do anything to save my ass right now because we're completely devoid of any kind of talent that Mac Brown left us when we got here. We were supposed to, when Mac Brown was fired slash stepped down, whatever they wanted to call it publicly. The problem wasn't we weren't getting dudes in the building. The problem was we were getting dudes in the building and not doing anything with them. And now we're not doing either of those things. Now we're bringing in Bobby Petrino to be your offensive coordinator. Now we're bringing in a dude who might be on his seventh year of college football, but has only actually played in like two of those years, and he was fine as your quarterback to be the savior of this team. You look at North Carolina football right now, and it's a complete laughing stock. And I think it was Andy Staples who said something earlier this offseason that if you fired Bill Belichick tomorrow, this would still be like a top 15 job in the country because it still is. North Carolina's potential as a football program still isn't like minuscule. It's still very large. Yes, it's going to primarily always be a basketball school, but this isn't Kentucky that we're talking about. This is a school that still cares about its football program, that has a rich football tradition in what they've been able to accomplish. And yeah, you call it a Tommy Bowden ceiling. Brother, we would love to have a Tommy Bowden ceiling right now. Right now, you have like a Charlie Strong Texas ceiling right now. Like, this is absolute ass-tastic nonsense. And the fact that the buyout really isn't all that detrimental, you have to, like, the only reason that Bill Belichick is going to make it through this entire season is because your other option is to make Bobby Petrino your interim head coach, and God knows that's just as bad. So like you're just in a winless position right now if you're North Carolina football. The Belichick experiment has failed spectacularly, and we need to end it as soon as possible.
I just hope Michael Malone's good, man.
I think he might be. I'm hopeful. I'm hopeful on the basketball front.
I mean, I've obviously kind of touched on this here. You got to get somebody in here that cares. But you bring up a good point. Like, get somebody in here who cares.
Yes.
North Carolina's kind of been the sleeping giant of the ACC. And we saw what happens when you get the right guy at the sleeping giant there in the Big 12 with our boy Kenny Dillingham.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Like around the same time, the turn of the century, both programs are pretty good. I think Arizona State was a little bit better, but like Arizona State's had two really high crests. The Jake Plummer, Pat Tillman era, and then obviously Frank Kush back in the 50s and 60s where the Sun Devils were good. Like that could happen here in Chapel Hill. You have a lot of talent in high school. Obviously, the problem is you got to split that a bunch of other schools here, but like not everybody from North Carolina needs to come play at Georgia or
Yeah.
Clemson.
Not everyone from North Carolina can get into Duke.
No.
Or
Or
Wake
wait.
Forest, yeah. So like it's you and NC State, and we just talked about Dave Doran might be the NC State might be looking to make a change. So why don't you do the same? Like I don't think anyone could have imagined the Belichick experiment going as poorly as it has. Like even if it like was destined to fail, I don't know like unmitigated disaster. I don't know if that was necessarily like on my bingo card for what this was going to look like because this has been far worse than anything I could have imagined. But I will say, process wise, one of the reasons we're ready to move on from Mac Brown is because it had kind of gotten like there was no excitement level because it was kind of stale. It was an older head in there, and I'm not trying to be ageist or anything. It was just like it was a guy who was clearly ready to step away from football. And then we bring in a guy who had already stepped away from football to replace that. Like, and you talk about Arizona State. You know what? One of the things that I think is the biggest advantage that Kenny Dillingham had there is he's in his 30s. He comes
Yeah.
in there and he like breeds a lot of excitement about what you're able to do. God knows 72-year-old Bill Belichick was never going to do that, and neither was his 24-year-old girlfriend.
No. No. Kenny Dillingham's our age.
Yeah, that's what I'm
That's
saying, man. Like,
he's got room to grow. He's been to cool places that were football at the Carolina, at Auburn and Oregon, and now it's making it happen here. I hope you guys get the right guy at some point. And obviously, I'll just touch on Mike Norvell real
yeah,
quick. He's cooked. Like this is so toast right now. Maybe Ashton Daniels will play halfway decent. I think that's kind of the expectations. He did show a little bit at Auburn,
mhm.
but like Auburn was already just toast with he's been at Stanford and Auburn now Florida State. What a career, man.
Poor guy. That's a tough road, tough path to walk.
I mean, when he was probably growing up, all three of those programs are pretty solid, and now they're not.
Now it's the Boulevard of Broken Dreams. Ashton
Uh,
Green Day Daniels.
He might have been conceived of that stuff. Uh, he's not a Nimrod, but they made a new movie about that. I think Billy Joe's son Jacob did like the soundtrack or something.
Oh
He's a
hell yeah,
musician
that's
too.
cool.
Yeah. He looks exactly like his mom, Adrian.
Good for him. Good for
Good
him.
for yeah. They're all like 5'7" just across the board. It's great.
Oh man.
That's like the Arizona State Podcaster brothers. They're all just like 5'6". Yeah, Mike Norvell is so unbelievably cooked. My question is like, are they going to give it to Manny Diaz or are they going to go bigger hunting than that?
I would say Manny Diaz is the likeliest candidate simply because of the fact that the reason Mike Norvell still has a job, which I was just now learning here on this here program today. The reason he still has a job is because of the financials at Florida State. It has nothing to do with the job that he's done because you'd be cooked if that was like you'd have your pink slip if that was the case. Um, the more I look at it though, like Manny Diaz seems to be. I don't want to call it like because I have respect for Manny Diaz. I don't mean this derogatorily, but like he's the budget-friendly option. He is a really, really good coach who's not going to break the bank. You're not going to have to pay him 10 or 11 million dollars per year to come to Tallahassee. And I think that that's what Florida State needs. They need the right guy to come in there who has a proven track record where he's been, whether that's as a coordinator or as a head coach, and that's Manny Diaz. But you're not going to be able to pay up for someone. I don't even know who you would go after. Like, I don't think there's anyone in their budget that would be able to match the caliber of Manny Diaz.
You want Jed Fish to turn heel and go coach it? I mean, Manny Diaz was like coaching at his alma mater, which is Florida State's biggest
Yeah.
arch rival. Miami in the ACC play. He's did great things at Penn State as the defensive coordinator, replacing Brent Pry, and then obviously, doing a really good job there at Duke. So, yeah, Mike Norvell, this is not going to end well for him, and it's probably going to be
No.
over before Halloween.
Yeah, I mean, or if it's in my head, it's already over. It's been done.
It's all been done. He's going to be watching the Heisman Trophy live from Eric Crouch's couch. Probably not, but that's okay.
He could if he wanted to.
Our top five Heisman contenders out of the ACC plus a sleeper. For the record, just like we're grouping Notre Dame into this because CJ Carr is probably a contender here.
Yeah, he absolutely is, and it's also just easier to loop Notre Dame into this because they're. It feels weird to loop them in like the group of six preview. Like that's
Yeah,
just not. They're a Power Four team without a conference.
100%. At number five for me, I've got new Louisville quarterback Lincoln Kienholz. I can't quit the guy.
Nice.
I think if Louisville has a good season, gets to Charlotte, maybe wins the ACC, he'll play a big reason in that. We've seen all the quarterbacks, whether that would be Jack Plummer, whether that would be Miller Moss, have played well under Jeff Brom. Aiden O'Connell has an NFL career based on what done at Purdue. I think this works.
No, I like that a lot. I have some Louisville representation in my top five. It is not Lincoln Kienholz, however.
I may have overlooked that, but that's okay. Who do you have at five?
At five, I have Malachi Tony. And for me, the big thing with Malachi Tony is we saw him a lot in the special teams game last year, and I'm normally the guy preaching about position players not necessarily like having that great of a chance at the Heisman Trophy. I think Malachi Tony, if he is going to continue returning kicks, in addition to being a absolute weapon at wide receiver, I think that's the path to kind of get that all-purpose yardage that we're talking about to really insert yourself into the Heisman Trophy conversation. And so, like, I this is going to sound ludicrous, but like I would have because of that, I would have Malachi Tony as a more likely Heisman candidate than someone like Jeremiah Smith, just because he's going to affect the game in more ways than Jeremiah Smith is going to, even if Jeremiah Smith is obviously a better football player.
Yeah, how I feel about Malik Tony is how you feel about Jeremiah Smith with like the Big Ten one. I don't have him on here just because like you got Mark Fletcher in the backfield, you've got Darian
Mhm.
Mints at quarterback, and you've also got Cooper Barkate. And I think Bryce Fitzgerald could potentially win the Thorpe. There's a lot of candidates there at Miami. I think maybe we're looking at Tony being the guy like in his junior year next year.
100%. Yeah, I mean, I will say the only real candidates I have on here are my top three. I don't think four and five are actually going to do it, but did want to shout them out. So,
At number four for me, I've got a guy who's got a building named after him, Brady. That's a SMU quarterback, Kevin Jennings.
hell yeah. I've got Kevin Jennings high. So,
Yeah, look, if SMU has a season that we think that the Mustangs are capable of, I think we're both in the belief like this team's going to probably win about 9 or 10 games
mhm.
and be a top four team in the ACC throughout. I'm not putting them in the playoff, but like they're closer to being among the first four out than we want to admit.
Oh, 100. They're pretty, at least for me, they're pretty comfortably the second best team on paper in the ACC. And I think Louisville's a challenger. I think Clemson could challenge them, but like in terms of what I've seen Rhett Lashlee accomplish in tandem with what like the talent that you have on this roster, SMU's a very damn good football team. And like, we'll talk a little bit later about two bid leagues and things of that nature, but like I look at this and like you talking about, just as an example, in the Big 12, you have Texas Tech and BYU as like your two potential like top candidates to make it into the playoff. I would take the Miami SMU pairing as a better pairing than Texas Tech and BYU.
I would probably venture to agree there if that's even what a phrase. I don't know. She wants to go out so bad. Who do you have it for?
At four, I've got Louisville running back Isaac Brown.
Yeah, that's a good one. I may have messed that up. That's okay.
No, it's completely fine. Like again, I don't think Isaac Brown's going to win the Heisman, but he's one of the best running backs in the country. He's effing awesome, and just like absolute lightning bolt. He's going to be a good NFL player. I believe it was Trevor Sikkema. I was listening to their summer scouting running back rankings, and he said, I don't want to say he's Devon Achane, but he's very much like Devon Achane, and that's kind of the player we're talking about here. Just like lightning in a bottle every time he touches it, except. The big key, Devon Achane couldn't stay healthy in college, and Isaac Brown has. Isaac Brown's been a workhorse. He's been able to stay healthy, and he's going to be a big part of this Louisville offense both in the rushing and passing attack.
That Isaac Brown's so hot right now. Hot Brown.
That's right. Got to have a bowl, baby.
Gotta have a bull in the La Crusette. At number three for me, can't quit him. Cal quarterback Jared Kiawe Sakapolatelli.
Okay, he's my first out.
We're gonna figure out how you pronounce that. I think the middle name is what's gonna get you.
It's JKS, brother. That's how I pronounce it.
If Cal's feisty, maybe he could get there. Cal's never had a Heisman winner before, which is probably one of the bigger shocking ones, along with Tennessee and Clemson, which
hmm
I'm like, they've had so many good quarterbacks over the years. Like, God, who is the guy who played like, they've had Goff there, they've had Aaron
hmm
Rodgers. God, who was the guy? Oh, Craig Morton back in the day.
Craig
Like he,
Morton, yeah, that's a callback.
I read one of the Dirty Birds. God, what's the Steve Barkowski? Like, no, haven't had. Yeah,
Hell yeah. The Cal's got a proud football tradition, man. JKS is a good football player. Like he's I worry about Cal's ceiling. That's kind of where I am with it. Like I just don't know if Cal's going to necessarily be good enough. And we talked about it and I believe it was in the Big Ten preview. Like you can't be a non-college football playoff team in most cases unless you're putting up a Lamar Jackson like season. And I'm not sure like as much as I like JKS, I'm not sure he's necessarily going to do that in the year of our Lord 2026.
and I think that's fair. Who do you got at three?
Probably going to catch some heat for this, but I have CJ Carr at number three.
I
Um,
got, I got him a little higher. That's okay.
yeah, and I figured you did. I figured most people did. He is the betting favorite to win the Heisman Trophy. CJ Carr is a good player. I'm not trying to put down CJ Carr as a football player. Bueller, I want to play a little trivia with you. Um, when was the last time that a Notre Dame quarterback won the Heisman Trophy?
I mean, like Angelo Bartelli back in like the 40s or something.
Little more recent. It was 1964 when John Warte won the Heisman Trophy.
Okay, it's been a minute.
Yeah, it's been 62 years since a Notre Dame quarterback has won the Heisman Trophy. Notre Dame doesn't throw the ball out. I think Notre Dame is going to be good. I think Notre Dame is going to make the college football playoff. I think that CJ Carr is going to have a good season. I don't think he's going to put up Heisman Trophy caliber numbers. You're still going to be a primarily defense and run based attack. Your Marcus Freeman is your head coach. That's in your DNA. I think that CJ Carr is going to put forth a season that honestly looks like something similar to what Fernando Mendoza did last year, but with less production. I think it's going to be less production. I think it's going to be game management. And I think he's going to do a good job of it. I think CJ Carr is going to be a better pro quarterback than he is going to be a college quarterback because of what Notre Dame simply asks him to do. I think Notre Dame and who they are as a football team and a football program is what's going to hold CJ Carr back. It's not going to be if CJ Carr is capable of it. But you think about the quarterback talent that we've had come through here. The reason I brought up the 1964 thing, you're talking about Jimmy Clausen, Brady Quinn, all of these guys that have come through here that have been highly touted arms. they weren't putting up like ridiculous numbers. And even when they were, it wasn't enough to win them the Heisman Trophy, even on good Notre Dame teams. So the more I look at this, I just don't see the path for CJ Carr being the Heisman. I think it is a lot of hype for a player who is good enough to deserve that hype. But if we're talking about the Heisman conversation, I just can't get there.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought up Jimmy Clausen and Brady Quinn. Obviously, we've also you could probably go throw Rick Meyer in there back
Yeah.
in the '90s as well. I know I'm probably missing a bunch of other players as
Oh,
well,
yeah.
but like he checks that box, and I'll touch on TJ Carr here in a little bit. But I think that's totally fair. At number two for me, I got the guy who likes to move. That's Darian Mensah,
Hell yeah.
and obviously I've got TJ Carr at one.
Okay.
So
I have Darren Mensah at one, and then I have Kevin Jennings at two. Um,
okay,
I'll elaborate on Kevin Jennings and then
Mensah.
let you hit Mensa, and then I'll hit Mensa, and then you can give your car thoughts if that works.
Okay, that works. So I'm gonna forget that, but that's okay. Let's do Kevin
Yeah,
Jennings.
I'll try to keep it. I'll try to keep it on track. I think I had a good mental process there. Kevin Jennings. I just think he's one of the more dynamic quarterbacks in the country. And more importantly, he's proven this is year three in the same offensive system, which I think is going to get undervalued quite a bit. But like we don't see that in this era of college football. 3 years in the same system as the starting quarterback. That's not something we see. He's got a medical center named after him. They obviously respect him a great deal in the Dallas Fort Worth area. But I think that SMU is being vastly underrated in what they can be this season. And the more I look at this SMU team, I think that Kevin Jennings is going to be a real driving force for him. I don't know if he has what it takes to get to New York necessarily, but I think he is going to make a strong push for it. I think we're going to be sitting there at week 8 and being like, hey, should we probably be talking about Kevin Jennings in this Heisman situation a little more? And then if SMU holds suit to what they've done the past couple of years, they're going to shoot themselves in the foot sometime in that last month. But up until that point, I think Kevin Jennings is going to be like a real contender to be a finalist.
I think he just has brand recognition because he had that playoff run 2 years ago. Last year, the team was feisty, but not quite there. Again, like he's been the same guy there for 3 years. I was also thinking about this. My last little Kevin Jennings thought. They need to have a combo at either Whataburger or Chicken Express called the Kevin Jennings Recovery Center, where you eat
So-
this, where you eat this, and then you gotta go to the recovery center. So like
yes.
it's like a triple jalapeno burger with large like jalapeno cheese fries and a drink at Whataburger, and then Chicken Express. It's just you're eating like 20 chicken livers and a biscuit.
You get a 15% off coupon to the Kevin Jennings Recovery Center when you order it.
You just can't be a TCU fan.
That's right. Yeah, 100%.
So that's good. Let's go Mensa.
Yeah, Mensa.
He's got to show me a lot. I don't necessarily know if he's got the necessary grit
Hmm.
that I don't like. Carson Beck had it a little bit, and Cam Ward had it. I don't necessarily think he has that in him.
Hmm.
He's got a lot of talent there, and I think really if Miami is going to achieve all it can, it's going to be a Mark Fletcher led team.
No, so obviously I have Darren Mensa at one. I'll go ahead and just make the most lukewarm take of all time. I don't think the Heisman Trophy winner is coming from the ACC. Like that's just where I kind of am on it. But I think your points about Mensa's makeup and questions about that are definitely warranted because my playing at Miami is a little bit different than playing at Tulane and playing at Duke. It just is. And the level of expectation you're going to face this year is a lot different. Having said that, raw physical talent, I think he's more talented than Carson Beck. I think he's probably about as talented as Cam Ward was. I know that's wild to say about a number one pick, but I think Darian Mensa is a really gifted player, even if he's not the same level of NFL prospect, because he doesn't have necessarily the size that Cam Ward had. But the more I look at Mensa, like I just see the potential for him to put up some gaudy numbers in this offense. We've seen this offense be productive. And yes, he has Mark Fletcher, but that's also going to help take pressure off the passing game and open up lanes for, Barkate and Tony down the field. Like I think that there's going to be a lot I think there's going to be a lot of advantages for Darian Minson to take advantage of. And again, the questions about whether he is able to do that, facing the pressure, facing the grittiness that he needs to have to be able to succeed in this role, I think that's all warranted. But I also think that talent-wise, just pure talent-wise, he absolutely has that. He has the talent to do it, and he has the opportunity to do it with the team that is around him.
I think the team around him is going to be ultimately what drives it. He does have the talent, but I do think like yeah, you willingly walked away from John Summerall and Manny Diaz in back-to-back years.
Yeah.
That's hard for me to overlook. But you know what? That's okay.
Mario Cristobal's a siren song, though, you know?
He's on the rock. He's
That's right.
imagine him being in the river in "Oh Brother, Where Art Thou." Still haven't seen the Odyssey. I don't think I'm going to. I probably will come around to that on a plane. I'll probably watch it on the plane, like when I'm flying to like I don't know, Lisbon or something.
Dude, I enjoyed it thoroughly. It was very good.
And then I'll finish with the CJ Carr thought. I think we've kind of
Yeah.
got all our bases covered here. I think if anybody in the ACC extended is going to do it, it's going to be him.
Mhm.
Just because I think Notre Dame's schedule's a joke, and I think that like there's a chance they're 12 and 0 and they're a top two seed, and they may throw up all over themselves in like the 2-7 game versus like I don't know A&M maybe
Yeah.
or like Indiana, Georgia, Texas, whoever doesn't win the SEC.
No, I'm glad you brought up the schedule point though, because I meant to, and I just completely blanked on it when I was talking. But I think that the schedule could, it's a gift. Again, it's one of those, it's a catch-22 for him because, yes, he's going to have all the opportunity in the world to put up numbers. He's going to have all the opportunity in the world to put up a good record to bolster him and get him in that college football playoff consideration that we think you probably need to be a Heisman candidate. But let's say he plays Miami, towards the end of the season, and Heatherly has some things dialed up for him that CJ Carr's not really ready for. I don't think that's going to really help his Heisman case. In fact, I think it's going to be more detrimental than it would be to most people because of the cakewalk schedule that you've had up until this point.
And I think that's totally fair. And when Hunter Yurchek and the boys and the ladies were discussing, who's going to make the 12 team field, they looked at Notre Dame and they said, playoffs. You're kidding me. That's the good one for this time.
Damn right, that was a really good one.
Our projected locks, contenders, pretenders, and honestly, for me, not a chance out of the ACC. This will include Notre Dame as well, because that's I mean they're basically a parasite to the ACC. That's okay.
Yeah, I don't know if it's symbiotic. I think it is parasitic.
I think that's fair. So I have two locks.
As do I, and I'm sure they're the same.
It's Miami and Notre Dame.
Correct. Yeah. I mean, this is the class of the. I like the term you used. The class of the ACC extended. Like, yeah.
Look, they're both above the Texas A&M threshold. Where like again, one of these eight teams that we have up there is not going to make it. That's just how it works. We
Yeah.
were so certain about Clemson and Penn State, and they weren't. But Miami and Notre Dame, like I'd kind of would be stunned if both of them didn't make it. Granted, the schedule for Notre Dame could make this a midpoint. Like if they lose a tough game, obviously they play each other, and then
Mhm.
Miami is probably have to get in as an at-large team because they've never won the ACC before.
Here's the thing. I don't know if there's going to be a path for like a non ACC champion Miami. And so, but like, I also think the ACC kind of sucks. So I like, if there's ever a year to win the ACC, it's probably this one.
And I think that's fair. This is where it's going to get wild. Our contenders and pretenders. I have five contenders.
I have two. That's how down
Okay.
I am on the ACC, man.
And who do you have for those contenders?
I have SMU and Louisville. I think they're only two teams capable of doing it.
I have them as well. I also have Clemson, Virginia, and Virginia Tech.
Okay, nice.
And don't have to. I mean, we've mentioned like why you gave Virginia the definitely maybe, and then Clemson's got like the schedule. Maybe Virginia Tech could put it all together, but I mean, it may be the year that Louisville and SMU get there to play Miami for the right to make the playoff.
No, 100%. And the more I look at this, I think the reason why my contenders list is so scarce is I kind of looked at this as the two teams that I could like conceivably see upsetting Miami, and lo and behold, Louisville and SMU both did that last year. And
Yes.
so that's kind of where I'm looking at this because we'll touch on it in a second. I'm kind of viewing the ACC as a one bid league, and the big reason behind that is because the ACC is so bad. I'm not sure any of these teams outside of maybe Miami, and they would have to win the Notre Dame game for this to be the case. I'm not sure there's really a case for any of these teams. Maybe Clemson if they were to beat LSU, but like there's not really a whole lot of at-large cases here. And like God knows what that Clemson LSU game is going to look like because, as we talked about, LSU could be a dumpster fire. LSU could be a college football playoff team. They could also be an absolute disaster this year, and that's just a win over a 6-6 team that Clemson has on their resume. So, like, I worry about the resumes of this team, and if we're talking about, you know, pretty much only the ACC champions in Notre Dame are getting into the playoff, I'm looking at this like, okay, which teams could I see conceivably beating Miami in Charlotte? And it's really comes down to SMU and Louisville for me. I think they're the only two teams that can even like possibly match up with what they have.
Well, somebody has to play Miami there.
Yeah.
And for pretenders, I have six.
I have everyone. Everyone else. Everyone but the top four teams or top three teams, excuse me, that I mentioned.
Okay, my six pretenders are Cal, Duke, Georgia Tech, NC State, Pitt, and Wake Forest. And I don't think Boston College, Florida State, your North Carolina Tar Heels, Stanford, or Syracuse have a chance.
Correct. They do not.
If there's one pretender that you think could like make prove you wrong, who would you say it is?
Just based on roster talent, probably Clemson. Like
Yeah.
Clemson's not an untalented team. They weren't an untalented team last year though, and that's what scares me about Clemson. And I worry about the scar tissue. I worry that there is a very large uphill climb from where you were last year, just culturally, to be able to have a winning football program that is challenging for this. But we've seen Dabo Swinney get to the college football playoff before. We've seen him do it with teams that or have a contender that you may not have expected them to be at that level yet. Like, yeah, you expected it with Trevor Lawrence. You may not have expected it with Kelly Bryant. You know what I'm saying? And like that those types of teams that we're talking about. And so maybe Christopher Vizina is that type of guy. Maybe that's the guy that comes in and absolutely like carries this. I I'm dubious of it happening, but I also wouldn't be like gobsmacked if we were to get to that point.
I think that's fair. I just realized we forgot to share our sleepers with the Heisman.
Oh yeah, I had Alberto
Okay, I love
just
that.
for shits and gigs.
I respect that. And I got a running back there too. I've got Duke's Nate Shepard. I think he's fantastic.
Love that. That's a good shout. Nate Shepherd's a lot of fun.
Nate Shepard's going to be is going to win somebody a fantasy football championship in about 3 years.
100%.
But I don't think he's going to get Duke to the playoffs at all.
Unfortunately, no. Manny Diaz is gonna have to coach his ass off this year. That's for sure. He's fully capable of doing so, but he's gonna have to.
And I don't know what Diaz translates into in German, but it's probably Du hast or Du hast.
That's right.
Du hast or Du hast. Does the ACC get two teams into the playoff this year? And again, this does not include Notre Dame in this. They're separate.
Yeah, yeah. Notre Dame is we're excluding them from this one, and I'm going to do Haas two S's, man. I just as I laid out, like I don't think the league is going to get enough respect for that to be the case. Like I don't see unless and even then, like I don't even think Miami could get to the ACC championship game and lose and necessarily get in because I think if you get to the ACC championship game, like I don't know, like I suppose there is a path, but it's a very unlikely path. Like it's a Doctor Strange situation where it's like, one. Like there's one path. You beat Notre Dame, you have an undefeated regular season, make it to the ACC championship game and lose to SMU. Outside of that, if you go into that game 11-1, if you go into that game at 10-2, like I don't see there being many avenues for an at-large ACC team because this league is so middling. Like we talk about, like I love to talk about the middle belly of these conferences. There isn't a middle belly of the ACC. There's a top team. I guess like the rest of the top tier is what you would consider the middle belly, but like there's just like there and then there's just like 10 feet of crap. 10 feet of crap. Like Boston College, North Carolina, Syracuse, Florida State to some degree. Like there's so much mess in this conference that I just think that the strength of schedule is not going to be valued by the committee at all.
I'm sorry, I was laughing. I'm making a joke in my head that's
No,
like
go
this.
ahead, man. I'm ready for it.
You mentioned there's no middle belly here in the ACC, and obviously we watch South Park. I mean, hell, Antonio Banderas is part of the show
That's
because
right.
of South Park, that version of Antonio Banderas. But anyway, there's like some girl who like wore her pants like up to like her shoulders,
Yeah.
and that's kind of the
No,
ACC.
100%. 100%. All my jeans are high-waisted, you know?
Life is a high-waisted jean.
In the ACC for sure.
And I'll be a contrarian ass. I'll say Du Hast 1S because I don't think Miami's going to win the ACC. I'd love to be proven wrong, or maybe not. I think you're looking at maybe SMU or Louisville getting in as the 11 seed, and then Miami gets in as like an at-large at like 9.
Yeah.
And that could like Miami not winning the ACC potentially, I think, cost Michigan or USC making the playoff.
Mm. That's
So,
that's not a bad call. I don't hate that line of thinking.
because like I'm just trying to think out how you build your playoff bracket. Like, let's just say, okay, the SEC, let's say gets 4, and Georgia, Texas, A&M, and your last team. We could say, for the sake of simplicity, let's just say it's LSU.
Yeah.
You had 3 from the Big Ten, so you got your Indiana, Ohio State, and Oregon.
Hmm.
That's 7. I almost Notre Dame 8. Your Big 12 champion, BYU, whomever that, TCU, maybe TCU, probably not.
Probably
Texas
not
Tech,
TCU, but we love them nonetheless.
Texas Tech. Then you got your group of 5 champion, Boise State, whoever comes out of the American. Then yeah, hold on. I don't know if I've got the math right. 7. The point is, if Miami doesn't win the ACC, that opens up a can of worms here, and
Hmm.
that's really my big thing with all this. Trying to do the math in real time is so hard because counting to 12 is hard. I mean, I can have a clock in front of me.
No, 100%. And I guess where I'm coming down to and like my equating this is not just the strength of schedule for the ACC, but also like if Miami, and maybe this is harsh for a program that still hasn't won an ACC championship, but like if Miami doesn't win the ACC this year, I feel like something's gone wrong. Like to your point, like maybe Mensa was the wrong guy. Maybe Mensa doesn't live up to the hype. Maybe Mensa isn't the guy. And if that's the case, then like I just have a really hard time envisioning it being a scenario where Miami builds a resume good enough to get to the college football playoff and isn't good enough to just kind of cakewalk to the ACC title. And so if that is like that's kind of the math that I'm doing in my head when it comes to Miami is yes, like it's they're you're asking them to do something they haven't done before. I don't know if the ACC has been this weak top to bottom where there's such a clear favorite in Miami to be able to do it. Particularly when Miami is the favorite to be able to do that. And so like the more I look at that, the more I'm just like, yeah, I think it's Miami and maybe SMU could sneak in as a second team, but like I don't see many paths for a Miami at large.
I think it's maybe more there than like you or I or anybody wants to admit. I think you look at the 2 teams who played for a national championship a year ago in
Hmm.
Indiana and Miami. I don't think Brian Haynes' side of the ball could play any better than it did a year ago. And frankly, I don't think Corey Heatherman's side of the ball can play any better. I think there
Yeah.
is room to grow with Shannon Dawson, which may counter that, but like, Mario's not drawing up a play. I mean, he can't spell his name.
No, that's Omari.
Omari. He may be great in front of a podium, but he might be an idiot. I mean, that's the Tua Tagovailoa way.
That's look, some great public speakers are illiterate. It just happens.
That's how. I don't know if Alexander the Great could read.
There's no way of knowing, frankly.
I mean, but he probably knew how to spell this. Good bull.
That's right.
Our good bull slash we do more than shoot hoops and turn left. Sorry, you got to figure out how to make that fit into the headline. It's
We make it work, baby. It can't be harder than some of the quotes we pull out when we do a theme show.
we do more than shoot hoops and turn left is like the equivalent of like a Smiths or Panic at the Disco song or Fall
Correct.
Out Boy.
100%.
Yeah. Oh, my display was going. I was fading off into the darkness here.
Given my thoughts about the ACC, that's a very apt comparison because this conference does make me feel like I'm in an emo band.
I'm just looking forward to some team coming out of the woodwork and just messing everything up. I
Mm.
don't know who it's going to be. Like this may be, we may like Stanford. What if Stanford just comes out here as like a 6-6 team, just messing everything up for everyone? Tavita Pritchard's the best thing to happen to Palo Alto since,
Google.
well, I don't know if that's really the best. I mean, maybe we probably need to send Sergey Brinov to go discover the Northwest Passage.
That's
Make
right.
Google Zuckerberg. Jeremy Strauss playing Mark Zuckerberg.
There we go. Yeah, that's it.
Uh,
Jeremy Strong playing Mark Zuckerberg is the best thing to happen to Palo Alto.
You have seen the trailer for that, right?
Oh yeah, social reckoning. I'm seated. I'm there for it. Day one.
That and the God, what's the other movie? Violent Night 2 trailer. I'm there, brother.
I have a really bad habit of calling David Harbour David Hopper because of Stranger Things, and it's just like the first thing that I would like. My brain just wants to go there immediately.
I respect that. I mean, yeah, Jim Hopper.
That's right. But no, I have that's my number one thing I have here is just I think this league is going to be as stupid and crazy as it was a year ago. Like we talked about it last year. Like Miami was clearly the best team in the ACC last year, and Virginia and Duke played for the ACC championship in Charlotte. And there was like a seven-way tie going into the final week of the regular season. Like, it's going to be as stupid and chaotic because there's not really any separators. Like, we like Louisville because of Jeff Brom and because of the quarterback and Isaac Brown and what they have there. Defense might still suck. The offense is literally like the offensive line is not particularly like anything to write home about, but like we do have faith in the coaching staff and what he's proven there. But like very flawed team. SMU is better than I think they were a year ago, but still not like I wouldn't call them a national championship contender or anything like that. And then you go down the line, like I believe in Virginia because of like what they had a chance, probably should have won the ACC last year. But like I'm not going to go out here and tell you that Bo Pribula and Eli Holstein like inspire a ton of confidence as like them being a world beater. Low on Virginia Tech. Pitt, God knows Pat Narduzzi is their head coach. Duke, I don't even know who's playing quarterback for Duke at this point. And like the more you go down the list, it's just like there's a lot of teams with a lot of flaws and a lot of coaches that I really like and think that are good at their jobs. And when you have that kind of recipe, you're just gonna get chaos. And like that's the only reason to watch the ACC this year because God knows there's gonna be a lot of weeks where there's not good football being played.
So I was thinking about this. This will tie to my final point that I've got here. So we all know Virginia Tech has Enter Sandman, and they go into that.
Yeah.
I don't know what Virginia's is. Maybe you could tell me, but I think it should be a Meet Virginia by Train. They just walk in there like really
That'd be
chill.
sick. I think it's Dave Matthews, if I'm not mistaken.
It should be,
Let's see.
Um,
Virginia Cavaliers football song.
like
There
it
we
should be. I would hope it's Trippin' Billies. That probably would work.
Let's see. That's not a good search.
But it's better than like walking and like smokes a pack a day. Wait, that's me. Um, or they just or you know what they also do? Maybe they just get a Chris Long just jacked up on Mountain Dew and Narcan. He just goes.
Mountain Dew and Narc.
Uh,
Oh man, that's funny.
Chris Long, just truly just a 101 personality. And it's like
I've been listening to his podcast recently. It's actually very good.
he's just like, why can't I do this? Why can't I climb this tree in my backyard? There are no branches. I will do it.
Just fully undeterred, which I respect about a man.
And he's just the perfect example of like where you drafted man. He went to the godforsaken St. Louis Rams.
Poor guy. Poor guy. He was good for the Rams too, unfortunately.
Yeah, him and Robert Quinn were getting like 12 and a half sacks and it didn't matter because they had nobody at quarterback.
Shout out Mark Bulger and Trent Green, all those guys of the world.
Yeah, Trey Gray, Mark Bulger, Kurt Warner, obviously.
An aged Kurt Warner, not like aged whiskey, but any stretch of the imagination.
I guess the last thing I had here, we're just gonna say it's Trippin' Billies if you can't find it. That sounds about
I
right.
think it's Good Old Song, which is
Okay,
just like a Virginia like fight song that they just sing after every touchdown.
Meet Virginia. That's what it is.
Yeah, needs to be Meet Virginia or Trippin' Billies, one of the two.
One of the two. Bah, bah. And then they play Grace Street after they win.
That's right.
Or I think it really like really gets psycho in people's brains. You don't drink the water.
That'd be good.
That'd be good. But you're absolutely right. The coaching in this league is fantastic. I think outside of the SEC, it's probably the best coach league top to bottom. I think it's better than the Big Ten.
Hmm.
There's a lot of guys here that I think could potentially be looking for bigger and better jobs. One of which is Tony Elliott. If
Hmm.
Dabo fails, I think he's your first candidate to come back to Clemson.
My
We've
first
mentioned
call.
Manny Diaz potentially going back to alma mater at Florida State. Jake Dickert's overqualified for what he's doing. And even if Bill O'Brien doesn't work here, I mean, if he fails, Brent Key is going to hire him immediately and bring him back to Atlanta.
Hmm. 100%.
We know we've said so many great things about Corey Heatherman and Shannon Dawson as coordinators at Miami.
Hmm.
There's
I mean, we
there's
think
all
Fran Brown's a good coach. Like he's just at Syracuse, unfortunately.
yeah, he just is. You got any other you got any other last thoughts?
The one thing, I mean, I'm looking forward to the Bill Belichick era ending. Like that's going to be good for my mental health. I can actually like care. Like I do feel like I've been providing some of my like best football analysis over the past year and a half because like I'm completely indifferent to North Carolina football right now. Like I'm not, I just don't care. Like whatever happens, happens because like Bill Belichick has robbed me of my reason to care about the Tar Heels and on the football field. And like that sucks because I enjoy caring about North Carolina football, but like there's no reason investing your emotional like stake into this football team at all with Bill Belichick at the helm. So like the further we get away from that, the closer I am to caring, which is what I'm looking forward to that.
That's what I'm hoping for, man. I hope you can get back to enjoying college football. I'm still an
I
emotional
enjoy
wreck.
the sport. I enjoy the sport, and I'm very neutral about everything that's happening right now. But uh, God, I'm not enjoying watching the team that I chose to root for.
I mean, North Carolina is age in real time. Kirby Smart looks the exact same. He was just born 40 years old.
That's right. It's I don't know, like it's not even a reverse Benjamin Button. He's just gonna be 40 forever. Gene Hackman. He's Gene Hackman.
Hoping hoping it's better for him than Gene Hackman because this was
Correct.
episode 299 of False Start. You can follow me, John Bueller, on Twitter at the X at Bueller118. You can follow Cody Williams at This Is 20. You can follow along with the show at CFP False Start. Like, rate, listen, subscribe, review on Apple, Spotify, YouTube, anywhere there's podcasts. Give us a 5-star review. Um, that's
That was
about
a
how many.
five-star joke. I'm not gonna lie to you.
That's about how many days Gene Hackman was by himself.
Christ almighty. Tough.
Let's keep it in there. I don't care,
Oh,
man.
I'm certainly not editing. It's a great joke. It's
It's a,
sad, but it's a great joke.
it's a great joke, and I mean, like, I wonder if he's measuring the goalposts, up in heaven now.
Probably. He's like, uh, Jesus, this ain't regulation. I'll tell you that right now.
And, his greatest football player is a Florida State alum, and Shane Falco.
Footsteps, Falcon.
Footsteps Falco. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Did you know Keanu has a band?
Yeah, he plays like it's like Dog Star. He plays bass. He plays the hell out of bass.
They were opening for shout out my buddy Al always. They were going to see I think they were going to see Mumford and Dogstar was opening for Mumford and he was like I had no idea who Dogstar was and then I looked it up and I was like John Wick's about to play music for me. What are we doing?
Making sure I get this right. Did you go to high school with Al?
No, I met him in Atlanta when I moved down here. We met at trivia.
Okay, I respect that. We can't go to trivia, dog park trivia anymore. One of the dogs isn't behaving herself.
I'm pretty sure the restaurant we met, dude. Actually, we met at softball, and then we saw each other like a week later at trivia, and that's when we like exchanged contact and started hanging out and stuff. But I'm pretty sure the bar just shut down in like June that we met at.
Oh, damn. Which one
Uh,
was it?
Guacky Margie's right off of
Yeah.
right near Krog. Yeah,
Oh,
they
that
used to have a good trivia scene, man. That was a fun place.
yeah, they closed all the locations for that. It's like I met my friend Matt. He's like the manager at Dad's this bar right
Okay,
past.
nice.
It's across from the CVS in Highland that we watch that like watch the people watch there.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And he kind of looks like Shel Silverstein, but he doesn't want to admit that.
The Giving Tree.
The giving tree. And I don't know if there's a giving tree in Ray Romano's backyard, but welcome to Mooseport because this is False Start.